Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic:
Women, what things do you notice or look for at a man's apartment that are green flags? A clean bathroom and toilet that you can feel comfortable in and sitting on. Surprisingly low bar that people struggle with. I'm a guy that tries to keep my bathroom clean, especially the toilet. I give it a wipe down once or twice a week, and now when I go to the bathroom at other people's houses I can't help but notice how bad most are about keeping theirs tidy. My last place, before moving in with my girl, I was renting a room. When I moved in, the first thing I did was deep clean the bathroom. The guy was so happy, said I was the best roommate he ever had. I just wanted to be able to shower without feeling gross. Hand towels and hand soap in the bathroom. And a trash can in the bathroom. With a lid. Edit, geez, I didn't expect the essays about people's lid-free lives. A trash can is good. A trash can with a bag is better. A trash can with a bag and a lid is, apparently, a very serious topic of debate. I just prefer not to face your yellow-brown Q-tips, used wipes, etc. And even though I wrap my pads and tampons and often try to bury them a bit, it's just nice that they're not greeting the next person to come in. That's all. It's just nice. Do you, boo? Edit. Apparently I was supposed to specify that the can should be emptied out on a regular basis. My apologies for being so simplistic. It won't happen again. This was a huge revelation for me when I first got a girlfriend. She came over and gave me the pro tips. The only trash I ever generated inside a bathroom was used toilet paper, to be flushed. I guess I'd occasionally swap out my toothbrush and razor, but I'd just take those out of the bathroom and toss them in the room bin. Never occurred to me before she pointed it out. If they have the national emblem of Libya between 1977 to 2011, that's a green flag. The Swiss flag is also a big plus. 5 stars if they had a Chinese flag as well. I had someone offer me their single, slightly damp towel, as my post-shower option. He had no other towels, not a single one. I asked. I opted to go home for my shower and be a bit late to work. The green flag, if you have overnight guests, is several nice bath towels, washcloths and hand towels. When I worked nights, I was dating a guy who would leave a towel sitting out for me in the bathroom before he went to sleep the night before. We weren't a good fit, but that was my favorite small gesture that packed a big punch. Hard pass on still damp, used towel. I had a guy offer me a fresh hand towel when I went to use his washroom. He said he forgot to change it out before I came over. I thought that was a very thoughtful gesture. His bathroom was immaculate. He also gave me a quick tour of his guest bathroom. He had extra towels, showed me where the dental floss is kept, spare toothbrushes, he had already stayed at my place numerous times, and a collection of sanitary pads. He grew up with 3 older sisters and keeps a stash at his place. The toilet smelling fine and no signs of pee anywhere. General clean house. Sheets that haven't been used for so long you can tell it's been ages since they were last changed. Things like that. Deleted. You might not see it, but there is always splashback. Always. Cleanliness and attention to detail. If they designed a place behind bare essentials and they keep it clean, then they likely take pride in it and won't be a slob or expect a woman to clean up their mess. I know way too many guys who get to cleaning when a woman is coming over. Especially early on in the relationship. The girl doesn't get to know the real him, at least housekeeping-wise, until they cohabit. People underestimate how many breakups are caused by someone in the relationship not pulling their weight with the chores. I'm also more willing to put up with mild annoyances when it's just me. If there's another person in the space, I want to tidy up things like dishes because it affects them too. If it's just me, then I don't mind putting it off until I want to do it because the only person it will bother is me. Clean, no overt smells. Books, messy is fine, dirty is not. Points for healthy, living plant or pet. We need to make books cool again. If you go home with somebody and they don't have books, don't fuck them. John Waters. Damn time to get rid of my dead pet. A wastebasket in the washroom within arm's reach of the toilet. Especially if there is a plastic bag lining it. Should I go with the Walmart or Target bag for the bathroom garbage bag? Walmart for everyday use. Target for when a guest is coming over. Everyone else has already hit the main points about cleanliness and plants and pets and bathroom trash cans with lids, so I'll branch out a bit. Spices. Every guy the first dated who had an assortment of spices knew how to cook, cooked at home and didn't eat takeout all the time, and didn't expect me to do all the cooking. It was an equitable split. Meanwhile, the man I married has many positive qualities, but when I dated him he owned a salt shaker and a jar of Morton's seasoning salt. That was a sign that going forward this man hated cooking at home, even though he owned all the pots and pans, that he'd spend a lot of money on takeout, multiple times a day, and that when we moved in together he'd expect me to cook all the meals. I married him because he makes up for it in many other ways. He does the cleaning and laundry, plus he's funny and cute. But every time I ask if he could help with a single step of making dinner and he offers to just DoorDash food instead, I think of that lonely jar of seasoning salt. Some of us just don't enjoy cooking, or prefer to do the bare minimum because we know cooking a fine meal takes over an hour plus planning, and I just got off work and would rather do anything else. Edit. I feel differently about cooking with a partner though. At least we're talking and it's not just wasted time. I feel this so much. I just don't enjoy the process of cooking that much when I'm by myself, and feel I'd rather spend the time doing something else. My cooking is specialized in sous vide, slow cooker, and auto cooker meals that take like 5 minutes of prep, because I can just spend my time doing something else while my meal cooks itself. Cooking with someone else is a totally different story, but a good chunk of the women I've dated have disliked having too many hands in the kitchen. Good lord, the bar is low. Deleted. Till women will fuck anyone with a clean bathroom and plants. The responses on this are restroom-centric, haha. That's because a lot of us have seen some shit, both literally and figuratively. Good cable management, pinched fingers. Seriously though, it's like that meme that goes something like, guys will see this and be like hell yeah. Quote. If it's clean, doesn't have to be spotless, but you know. As a man that was in the dating pool for about 3 years, some women said my house being spotless was a red flag. Like it was too clean, as in I had planned for them to come over after our date. Also had someone freaked out by how organized and clean I was. She said it gave her serial killer vibes. Can't win sometimes, tears of joy. I don't know what your place looks like, but I think most people find it comforting to enter a home that looks clean, but also feels lived in. I've been at people's homes where it feels like you enter a show home. I don't know how to explain it properly, but it's a bit like entering an architectural 3D previs render, if that makes sense. There's clean, and, looks like it's staged to be sold, clean. I do know people who live like the latter, but I'm always a little uncomfortable in their houses. Shrug. Plants. It's the next best thing to having a pet. Plants need care, they're alive, and having one, or many, shows that there is a nurturing side to them. That explains why all the cannabis growers get all the girls. What about a pet snake? Give it a bioactive enclosure and you can hit both has plants and has pet flags. What about the entire 80s hard rock band Whitesnake? Hand soap in the bathroom. I befriended a guy who did not have hand soap. He was 24. I bought some and left it there, just a regular sized bottle. It was still sitting there, almost unused, except for the times I used it, almost a year later. So yeah, hand soap. The amount of men that I notice come out of the bathroom with their hands completely dry gives me the ick, like their hands you can tell did not touch a drop of water in the past hour. I know there won't be a second time of us meeting up. Books. I have many leather-bound books and my apartment smells of rich mahogany. Ron Burgundy, stay classy. I have a paperwhite with a ton of books on it as well as a non-Kindle tablet with more. I would fail your test despite technically being a green flagger. Tears of joy. Just leave your Kindle out on the coffee table, it is the same green flag. I prefer to have my books on a Kindle. I don't like having so many things and it makes cleaning easier. Removed. I once had a woman say she was impressed I had fruit. It wasn't in a bowl or anything, it was just like 2 or 3 oranges on a counter. Then if she saw my 2 bunches of bananas and bag of gala apples, she'd be in love. Furiously takes notes as a single man living in an apartment with a cat. As long as you have soap in your bathroom, you brush your teeth, wash your ass, your apartment doesn't smell like cat piss and you can carry a conversation, you shouldn't be having trouble. Damn, you have to be able to carry a conversation. An affectionate, well-behaved pet. It's amazing how much a person treats another living creature can tell you about who they are. What if I have a cranky middle-aged Halloween decoration that loves me but hates women? You have a pet bat. When my current GF came over for the first time, she was impressed that I cleaned the bathroom. Look, I'm not the most tidy guy. I was living alone with my giant Great Pyrenees, so yeah, I cleaned up before she came over. To her that was a green flag, for fuck's sake. Isn't it the bare minimum? Guys wash the toilet, sink and extra point for bathtub. You severely underestimate the amount of men that don't clean. A friend of mine had his girl coming over later that evening. It was the morning, I was hanging out at his house. Place was, well, a mess. We'd all been hanging out over the weekend playing games and living like slobs. I go, shouldn't you clean up or something? Change your sheets and shit. He just looks at me like, oh shit. So me and the boys did him a solid and spent the day cleaning up that house. Top to bottom, made that shit spotless. They broke up a couple months later for some other reason, but it wasn't because the place was messy. Please say Legos, please say Legos. Not one mention of a fully painted Warhammer army yet. They're just all worried we're living in filth. Things that indicate he's an adult who is capable of caring for himself. A clean apartment. Things like toilet paper, a trash can, and soap in the bathroom. Some type of refreshment offered, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Things like toilet paper. Having toilet paper must be one of the lowest bars I've ever seen. LMAO. If it's clean and reasonably neat. 2. If he has a pet that he loves and cares for. This shows that he can take care of himself and someone who depends on him. This is always a good impression that someone of either sex can make. I'll just leave this here. A woman meets a man in a bar. They talk, they connect, they end up leaving together. They get back to his place, and as he shows her around his apartment, she notices that one wall of his bedroom is completely filled with soft, sweet, cuddly teddy bears. There are 3 shelves in the bedroom, with hundreds and hundreds of cute, cuddly teddy bears carefully placed in rows, covering the entire wall. It's obvious that he has taken quite some time to lovingly arrange them. She's immediately touched by the amount of thought he put into organizing the display. There are small bears all along the bottom shelf, medium-sized bears covering the length of the middle shelf, and huge, enormous bears running all the way along the top shelf. She finds it strange for an obviously masculine guy to have such a large collection of teddy bears. She is quite impressed by his sensitive side, but don't mention this to him. They share a bottle of wine and continue talking. After a while, she finds herself thinking, oh my god. Maybe, this guy could be the one. Maybe he could be the future father of my children. Quote. She turns to him and kisses him lightly on the lips. He responds warmly. They continue to kiss, the passion builds, and he romantically lifts her in his arms and carries her into his bedroom, where they rip off each other's clothes and make hot, steamy love. She is so overwhelmed that she responds with more passion, more creativity, more heat than she has ever known. After an intense, explosive night of raw passion with this sensitive guy, they are lying there together in the afterglow. The woman rolls over, gently strokes his chest and asks coyly, well, how was it? Single quote. The guy gently smiles at her, strokes her cheek, looks deeply into her eyes, and says, help yourself to any prize from the middle shelf. That is absolutely hilarious. Did you write this? No, it's an old joke that's been posted on Reddit and other forums plenty of times, but as soon as I saw the title of this particular thread it immediately reminded me of the joke and I just knew I had to post it here.